Good day everyone, my name is Zazel Villanueva from BS at Filipino 3B. Today I will be discussing the lesson 3 on module 5, constructing true or false test. True or false test is a test consisting of series of statements to be marked as true or false. Binomial choice of alternate response tests that have only two options such as true or false, right or wrong, yes or no, good or better, check or wrong, and so on. A student who knows nothing of the content of the examination would have 50% chance of getting the correct answer by sheer guesswork. Sheer guesswork, it is a process of trying to guess or estimate something without knowing all the facts or information. Although correction for guessing formulas exist, it's the best that the teacher ensure that a true or false item is able to discriminate properly between those who know and those who are just guessing. A modified true-false test can offset the effect of guessing by requiring students to explain their answer and to disregard a correct answer if the explanation is incorrect. Here are some rules of thumb in constructing true-false items. Rule number 1. Do not give hint inadvertently in the body of the question. Example: the Philippines gained its independence in 1891 and therefore celebrated its centennial year in 2000. Obviously, the answer is false because 100 years from now is not 2000 but 1989. Rule number 2. Avoid using the words always, never, often, and other words that tend to be either always true or always false. For example, Christmas always falls on Sunday because it is a Sabbath day. Statements that use the word always are almost always false. A test-wise, students can easily guess his way through this and get high scores even if he doesn't know anything about the test. Rule number 3. Avoid long sentences as these tend to be true. Keep sentence short. For example, tests need to be valid, reliable, and useful, although it would require a great amount of time and effort to ensure tests possess these test characteristics. Notice that the statement is true. However, we are also not sure which part of the sentence is deemed true by the student. It is just fortunate that in this case, all parts of the sentence are true and hence the entire sentence is true. The following examples illustrates what can go wrong in long sentences. For example, tests need to be valid, reliable, and useful since it takes very little amount of time, money, and effort to construct a test with these characteristics. The first part of the sentence is true, but the second part is debatable and may in fact be false. Thus, the true response is correct and also a false response is correct. Rule number 4. Avoid track statements with some minor misleading word or spelling anomaly, misplaced phrases, and others. A wise student who does not know the subject matter may detect this strategy and thus get the answer correctly. For example, A. The Raven was written by Edgar Allan Poe. Letter B. Allan is misspelled by and the answer would be false. This is an example of a tricky but utterly useless item. Rule number 5. Avoid quoting verbatim from reference material or textbooks. This practice sends the wrong signal to the students that is necessary to memorize the textbook word from word, and thus acquisition of higher level thinking skills is not given due importance. Rule number 6. Avoid specific determiners or giveaway qualifiers. Students quickly learn that strongly worded statements are more likely to be false than true if the statements use never, no, all, or always. Moderately worded statements are more likely to be true than false if the statements that are moderately worded use many, often, sometimes, generally, frequent, or some. Usually should be avoided. Example: executives usually suffer from hyperacidity. The statement tends to be correct. The word usually leads to the answer. Last rule, rule number 7. With true or false questions, avoid grossly disproportionate number of either true or false statements or even patterns in the occurrence of true and false statements. For example, number 1 true and number 2 up to 10 is false, or number 1 true, number 2 false, number 3 true, number 4 false, true false, and so on. For ease of correction, teachers sometimes create a pattern of true or false answers. Students will sense it and may arrive at the correct answer not because he or she really knows the answer, but because he or she sensed the pattern. That's the end of my report. Thank you so much and have a good day.